A lot of the greatest solos out there tell great stories, and I'm continuing my series here on guitar solo stories. This one's about living on a prayer. We are living on a prayer with Bon Jovi. This one is a great one that shows not just the four-part storytelling that I've been talking about a lot lately, but it also adds a little twist at the end, which is really, really cool. The solo is fairly simple, and I think you're going to really get a lot out of it. This is more importantly not just how to play the solo, which I am going to show you, but also how to approach how to learn the solo. You don't just jump in and blaze away. There should be a distinctive way to go about learning a solo, not just so that you can get the notes, but you can capture somewhat of the vibe of the person who played that solo. Not that you're going to be that guitar player, you're going to be you, you're going to put you into it, but put some feel, put some pizzazz into that solo. So the first thing I'm going to ask you is your fingers warmed up. You really should have those fingers warmed up. You should be working on some exercises, and you should be working on ways of getting the coordination and dexterity down in your fingers. If you're looking for something that'll help you with that, I do have guitar finger gymnastics. It's in the link below. Go ahead and click it. It's just some really short videos. You don't have to do them in order. You just one or another, just as you need them. It'll help getting those fingers working the way you want to really, really quick. All right, so go ahead and download that. Let's get on with the video. So living on a prayer is living on a story, and this is another story that is told in a very popular song from Bon Jovi back in the day. So the solo tells a story, as they all do, typically in fours, although it does have a little bit of a twist, like I said earlier. This one is really a lot of fun to play. Now, Living on a Prayer is in E minor, or G major, whichever you want to call it. It kind of goes back and forth a little bit. I'm going to show you how to learn the solo. It's easy to show it to you, and I will show it to you, but what we're going to do is we're going to learn it in parts. There are, again, 4 distinct parts of the solo, but he also adds a tag to the end. Punctuation or a statement at the very end. So that's where this one is a little bit different than some of the ones I've done before, but this is also commonly done. So I'm going to turn my effects off. I am using my Kemper profile. I'm using a Marshall Silver Jubilee profile on there. Profile pack that I bought some time ago, and it's been really, really useful for me, especially in songs like this. I take the first section of the solo. Now, how does that first section go? Well, it's this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Each section of this solo is in 2 bars per section, except for the very end. Very end's got something really cool, and I'll get to that in a minute. But what we're going to do is show you each of the sections. This is how you should learn a song. You could have somebody could show it to you on YouTube, and you can blaze right through it. But what you need to do, I believe, to get the solo right is to also catch the vibe of the solo. So you could just play the notes and probably sound okay, but don't you want to sound a little bit better? So here we go. This is the beginning of the solo. The first 2 bars were in E minor. You have to know your E minor scale or your G major scale, either one. They're the same set of notes, and we're going to use those notes in the solo. So here's how we started. The first 2 bars go like this. All right, down here on the 5th and 7th fret, and that's the first 2 bars. He does do sort of a kind of string pinching going on with that. String pinching is just taking the pick, and you're going to hit the flat of the pick right onto the strings. Typically when I'm soloing, I have my pick twisted this way when I'm soloing, but I'd like to flatten it out and sort of just pinch that string just a little bit. It's a really hard, pinch of that string to get that sort of pinched feel to it, like this. So that's how you're going to start the solo, and that's the first stanza, right? Remember, I've talked about this a lot in a guitar solo story. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da, right? That's our poetry example. Well, this is the first line, and so you learn that first line and you get it. Shouldn't take you too long unless you got to work on that pinched harmonic part. What we're going to do now is play the second part of the solo in E minor up here. All right, no pull-offs, no hammer-ons in that. It's just straight up the solo, you got to make sure that you get that bend. When you're learning a solo like this, or any solo, I would stop right here and get the first and the second lines together. Connect the dots before you go to the third and fourth section. So I would go like this. Right there, that section of the solo is what I'm going to work on first. Then you move on to the third line. And as you're going along, if you're paying really close attention to how you're doing this, you're starting to catch the vibe of the solo, the feel of it. All right, now you're not going to play like Richie Sambora, but you're going to play like you, but you're also catching the vibe of the feel of that solo rather than just playing the notes. This is a great way because you're learning the story. You're learning the story of the solo. It comes quick. It's a quick solo. It doesn't last very long. It's a very short story, but it's very important to the song. Now, the third section of the solo is a little different, and he just plays it right here in this same position, in the C minor position. So you're actually going to be hitting these two strings, the B string and the G string. So I'm just picking across those two strings. I'm kind of giving a little bit of a mute there. Now this next part, now we're still on the third line of the solo, is a bend with the pointer finger, which you don't often do a lot. Pointer finger bends don't happen, especially when you're pushing up. This one I think you're going to have to push up. You can probably pull down on it too, but I like pushing up on it. Push it up here on the G string on the 11th fret with the pointer finger, and then the ring finger is on the 12th fret D string, and then I use the middle finger for the 12th fret on the A string. Now that's the third line of the solo. So now I'm not going to go to the fourth line just yet. Wait, have patience. Let's get this down right. Get the vibe, feel the story. What you do is you connect 1, 2, and 3 and make it sound really good. So you're going to go like this. Now the last line isn't terribly different than the second line. It's very similar. There's just a little bit of a change right at the very end of that line. And it goes like this. All right, it just descends. The first time we did that line, we went this. The similarity here is these two notes. And then it deviates. All right, so we're going down. We're just staying on the 12th fret, B string, G string. Final part of that fourth line is just a really, you gotta hold that bend. All right, and then what you do is you connect all 4 of those lines to that story. So that completes the 4 lines to the story, but we're not done yet. Now what we're going to do is we're going to give it a tagline. This happens a lot in music and songs, this happens a lot in the solos. We're just going to add a little bit of extra spice right at the end to really kind of give a good punctuation to the story that this solo is giving you. The way I hear it is it's just a run up the G major scale. So what I do here is here's your G note right here, which is on the, what is that there, 17th fret on the D string. And we're going to play this version of the G major scale. And then I move my pointer finger over here on the B string. And then that's the note that's going to be bent right here. You have to watch your picking on this one. So I'm doing alternate picking on the first 3. And then I do a downstroke, a second downstroke here. Another alternate. And then I'm going to pick down again to get to the B string. Down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. And then you just bend it up with another down pick. Another option you can play that final run would be right here. You're still starting on this note, but you're going to use your little finger and you're going to play this version of the G major scale. That's another way you can play that scale right there. I've played it there too. I've played both. Either one's going to work. It's going to give you the same result. So whichever one works for you, that's the one you're going to play. The picking pattern goes with that run is down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down. So that one's almost exclusively alternate picking. Just a series of trips. Ding. And just let that last one ring out and you're off to the races. So that's how to play, and more importantly, how to learn a solo like Living on a Prayer. Hey, thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, click the bell for more notifications on videos that are going to be coming up. I got a whole bunch of stuff coming up. You can look through my playlist and find something that'll probably help you out, or something you just want to learn how to play. All right, thanks a lot for watching, and rock on.